All right, guys, we are live again. We are live in today's live stream. We're going to talk about Metastock. If you haven't seen, Metastock has exploded, and we'll get into some of the reasons why, and then we'll talk about paper assets versus real estate. So let me just pull up this article really quick. I'll share my screen. I'm getting used to this Ecamm stuff, like the overlay and all this extra stuff that they have. So start utilizing this a little bit more. All right. So I think that's wide enough so you guys can see. So I'm gonna do it from over here. All right. So the title of the article says Metastock jumps 20% on solid earnings, stock buyback, and dividend plan. So it looks like they had good earnings, so that's why the stock went up. Some stock buybacks from I guess people that own some shares already, and then a dividend plan. Now, typically, which I think typically companies that give out dividends are companies that don't expect to grow as much, but they just did a big jump. That's my take on dividends, because if you look at AT&T stock, they're a really good dividend stock, but they don't really. They don't really pay out, or they don't really go much up in appreciation as far as the stock price goes. All right, so let's read it a little bit into the article. It says Meta platform stock rocketed higher Friday, climbing more than 20% after the company posted better than expected earnings and guidance announced new shareholder return initiatives. All right. So good earnings and then shareholder return initiatives. Maybe they're talking about the dividend plan there. And then it says with Friday's rally, the company was on pace to add more than 200 billion to its market cap, which would be a stock market record according to Bloomberg data. Meta shares were trading around 475 on Friday. At its lows in 2022, the stock fell to as low as 90 bucks. Wait, so in 2022, it fell to as low as $90. So there's a lot of people that say there's not opportunities in bigger stocks like this because they have such a big market cap, but that's just not the case, right? Like in 2022, it was trading as low as 90 bucks, and today it's trading for 475. So that's like 3 to 4 times your money if you were invested. Now, in the crypto space, you typically see gains like this on a daily basis. I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but it's normal to see gains like this since the market caps for the projects in the crypto space are not that big. So, yeah. But, I mean, for a big stock like Meta, it's very impressive. All right. Meta's market cap now stands at north of 1.2 trillion. So, yeah, it gets into the fourth quarter earnings data. Meta reported adjusted earnings per share of 533 on revenue of 40 billion. Analysts are anticipating adjusted EPS of 490. So they were anticipating 494, but they ended up getting 533. So yeah, they really killed it. And if we go to the stock chart, you could see, on Thursday it was trading for 394.78, and now it's all the way up to 474. A 20% increase, and I think it's probably going to shoot up beyond 500 bucks over the weekend going into Monday. So yeah, I mean, that's not financial advice, but I mean, I'm not going to get into Meta. I'm not buying stocks yet. Like, all my investments are in crypto, but if you're looking for stocks, like Meta is you could look at stocks like Meta. You could look at stocks like like the Big Seven, right? The Magnificent Seven. You could look at to, put some money in, be safe, and not take the risk of losing all of your money. Because once you start dabbling in stocks that the market cap is not in the billions, you take a chance that something goes really wrong with the company. A company like Meta, there's really not much that I mean, I'm not going to say there's nothing that can happen to the stock, but it's a pretty established company where I would feel safe investing in that company. But again, you got to do your own research. But yeah, so yeah, let's look at. So right now, 474. Yeah, so we're after hours right now because I think the market has closed. It's 435. Yeah. So the market is closed, and it's trading at 474 now. So we'll see what it does on Monday. I'll do a live stream on Monday to talk about the market, and we'll probably revisit this stock to see. But yeah, so that was the first part of the live stream. So we get rid of this thing here. But the second part I wanted to talk about was paper assets versus real estate. Now, with these recent spike and Meta just sparked it just sparked something in me to bring up paper assets versus real estate. Now, I've been thinking about getting into real estate, buying an actual property. For those of you who have watched the channel, have seen me get into fractional real estate, and you know the pros and cons of getting into fractional real estate. So I said in those videos that the next time I do get into real estate, I will be buying a physical property. But now, I mean, looking at Meta and just being in the crypto space and looking at how these paper assets move, it's just so much easier to make money in paper assets opposed to real estate. Like with real estate, you got to get a broker most of the time, right? Unless you're a broker yourself, you got to pay the broker fee. You got to pay taxes on the home, and depending if you get like a condo or some type of townhome, you're paying HOA fees and all these other fees. So I've been doing the math, and like let's say you were trying to buy a $350,000 property, and instead of that, you wanted to put it in an ETF like Vanguard and get a 5 to 6% return. It's just so much easier to flip that money and get it in and out. And also, a lot of the returns that you get from the ETF are not going to be cut with a bunch of fees. Because like I said, real estate brings so much fees. If you're renting it out to make money each month, then you're going to have to pay to keep up with maintenance that the people typically they mess up stuff in the apartment. You got to go fix that, or if there's some type of issue, you got to pay for that. And then again, each year you have to pay taxes on the home. So once you account for all of that stuff, you're basically like that return. It doesn't really come out to a 5 to 6% return. It's more like 3 to 4%, right? Opposed to Vanguard, or like some type of, I wouldn't say a mutual fund because mutual funds charge a lot of fees too, but like an ETF, I think, paper assets in general, it just seems like a better play. And for instance, let's say if you were invested in Meta and, right, you were invested, bring up the chart again. If you were invested at 379 and you had a decent sized position, today you'd be up 20%, right? And it'd be nothing to just get out of that position because, it's very liquid. You could just go to your broker exchange and you can, liquidate those assets. So yeah, I'm going to actually put a video. I'm going to make a video this week on why I believe paper assets are better than real estate. Obviously, real estate has its benefits, but for me, it's just overall easier to make money in paper assets and get in and out and get your gains and move on to the next. Now, I think there is a place for real estate, but yeah, the more I'm doing the research, I'm thinking about even holding back on getting any type of property and just focusing on paper assets for the next 5 years. Right, I might end up getting a property, but who knows? And if I do, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, today it's going to be it's a quick live stream today. It's not going to be anything crazy. Today's Friday, but I did want to talk about Meta because it jumped crazy. So and it looks like, with a jump like that, it looks like the bull market is coming in, especially once they start decreasing interest rates. I think you're going to start to see a lot of pumps like this in stocks, and people are going to make a lot of money. But yeah, that's all I had for today. I'll see you guys next week, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Take care.